haven't been and seen any cricket in a long time. I've forgotten how much clapping there was. Now, I used to play cricket, but we didn't clap this much. Essentially, they're just clapping when someone does what they're supposed to do, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever floats your boat. Now, I was going to throw in some shots of me walking. I was going to put the camera down, walk past it, go back and get it and move on. My 13-year-old son, Kian, told me though that was incredibly cheesy. So I bottled it and I haven't done any. But doesn't mean I won't in the future. So I've been doing some research for a project that I want to do, and I've spent a lot of time in front of the computer looking at different bits and pieces that are hopefully going to help me get the film that I want to make. I say film, it's no feature, but just a little project that I want to do. But there's only so much time you can spend inside, sat in front of the computer, so I've come out and I'm actually scouting for locations. Sounds professional. Sure it's not, but so that's what I'm doing out and about today, struggling with this changing light and the bright sunshine and not having any ND filters, but we go on. Whew, and it's hot. Quite a scenic up this end, is it? Let's go somewhere else. So, seeing as I'm not really doing any pictures or videos today, this is essentially just to try and find somewhere good to go. I thought I'd use this opportunity to tell you why the channel is called Beating the Broom Wagon. Tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to find somewhere to stop and I'll tell you all about it. Oh. Let me tell you a little story. So in 2013, my girlfriend Zoe was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Bit of a shock to everyone and was difficult to deal with, but she was so strong and so brave. She had surgery, got through it, and touch wood, she's all good now. So whilst that was going on, she actually had a lot of support and help from Macmillan Cancer Support, and she had her own dedicated Macmillan nurse who was there at all her appointments to answer any questions at the end of the phone whenever Zoe might have needed her. Really fantastic that there's someone there, because the rest of us, well, me, I was useless. I just, you know, you never know what to say or what to do. It's good to have someone that knows what they're talking about. So I wanted to help or do something to thank Macmillan. So the obvious thing to do is try and raise a bit of money. My brother-in-law Sean and myself took part in the longest golf day challenge. Now, that's 4 rounds of golf in one day, which is a bit of a slog. You're looking at maybe 3.5 hours per round. So it's a long old day, a lot of walking, a lot of bad golf, but it was good fun, and we raised a few £100 for Macmillan, which was brilliant. Then the next year I wanted to do something else. We're up to 2015 and I wanted to do something. And I set my sights on the Prudential Ride London 100. It's a 100-mile bike ride. Sounded like a good challenge to do. I'd had a bike for a while but never really ridden it. After the Olympics in 2012, I thought, yeah, that looks good, I could do that. Stayed in the garage and didn't get used. But this was a good chance to get it out, get on the road, get some exercise and raise some money. So that's what I did. So in doing that, I thought it would be a good idea to try and raise some interest, to make a blog all about what was going on. Needed a name for a blog, and the one I came up with was Beating the Broom Wagon. Now, for those of you that aren't really into cycling, a broom wagon is a bus or a van that follows around at the end of an event and sweeps up any of the competitors that can't manage, whether they've had bike problems or injuries or whatever it might be. They can't finish the race, so the broom wagon sweeps them up. Having never ridden 100 miles on a bike, I never knew if I was actually going to get round in time. So my main goal was to beat the broom wagon. Just wanted to finish in front of that bus to make sure that I finished the whole event and I got my medal. So that's where the name came from, Beating the Broom Wagon. That's all I wanted to do. So the event then was in beginning of August 2015. Now, at the end of May 2015, I got diagnosed with cancer myself. Hey, part of the club. Woo. So I had to pull out. I had some pretty major surgery and some chemotherapy. No way I could have got round. I could barely sit up at this point, so riding a bike for that amount of time was never going to happen. But when I got diagnosed, I wasn't worried about just beating the broom wagon around the course anymore. I kind of started looking at it differently, and the broom wagon to me was death, as dramatic as that sounds. That's the way I was looking at it. And all I wanted to do was make sure that I survived. So beating the broom wagon took on a whole different meaning. And it kind of symbolises just getting out there and making the most of life, because you never know when that bus is going to catch up with you. So whilst photography and videography has got nothing to do with beating a broom wagon, there's no connection there. Personally, to me, there is, because only get one shot at this. God, that's a cliche, isn't it? Only get one life, so you've got to make the most of it, and that's what this is all about. Me trying to do something that I really enjoy, maybe turn it into something else. So I'm still trying to beat the broom wagon, and that's where the name comes from. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a bit of a miserable story and maybe a bit over dramatic, but that's what goes on in there. So if any of you wanted to know, that's the reason. Luckily, Macmillan, who I was doing the bike ride for again, saved my place for the next year. So in 2016, I was going to get my chance to beat the broom wagon. And I did it, woohoo! Yeah, did the ride, got my medal, brilliant day, and I raised £1,500 for Macmillan, which is brilliant. Well, I say it's brilliant. It was good for me. That's, you know, I think it's good that we've been able to say thank you, raise some money for all the good that they did for Zoe, for myself, and for thousands of people every year. So, really chuffed with that. So that's me done for today. I'm heading back home. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight into why I'm doing this and why it's got such a stupid name. But that's it. So until next time, take care of yourselves.